Welcome back, everybody, for another edition of Meatless Monday. Today we're going to make mushroom dumplings. This recipe is super easy, and the best part about it is you can adjust it and add or take away anything that you like or don't like. I'm using baby portobellos, and the key is anything that you're going to put in this mixture that we're going to stuff our dumplings with needs to be cut super small. You don't want any big chunks because then that'll take up too much space in your dumpling wrapper and then you won't have room for nothing else. So I'm going to continue to cut these up and I'll be back. Look at that. So they're all diced up really nice. That's 1 pound of baby portobello mushrooms. This is Napa cabbage. Now you can use regular cabbage if you like, but Napa is where it's at for real. So again, we're going to cut this up very small. So I'm going to cut it into thin slices. And all I did was slice off like a quarter of the whole head. And then we're going to cut it up. And then we're going to do the fine choppy chop chop. I like to split it in half because I also like making a mess whenever possible. And if you have your cutting board too full, everything that you cut is going to go flying off anyway. So do it half at a time. Then we're going to throw that in the pan on top of the mushrooms. Easy peasy. These are shredded carrots. They come in those shredded like sticks, but again, too big for the dumplings. So this is a small handful. Here's something else that's deceiving about these already shredded carrots. You may think that you need more than a small handful, but this, especially after you chop them up even smaller, they go a very long way. Now it's time to do the garlic. So I have 3 cloves of garlic, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to chop them up and then push them to the side, because to the garlic, I am also going to mix in some ginger. Now, I like to use fresh, although you can buy it in a squeeze tube, but here's a little trick if you don't know it already. Use a spoon to peel off the ginger's outer, paper-like skin. It's so easy because it's not a smooth surface. And if you use a vegetable peeler, the chances of you cutting your fingertip completely off increases tenfold. So, once I get a good little nubbins of that really clear and peeled, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to cut it into smaller pieces. And then I'm going to mix it in with the garlic because I'm going to break out this handy-dandy handheld garlic mincer masher thing that I love. It's awesome. It was a gift from our neighbor down the street, Angela. Very sweet, very nice. So I'm using this, and all I'm doing now is I'm mixing the two together, and it releases this juice that they mix together with as well. And once I get that all done, I'm going to put them on top of the mixture that we have in our skillet. You can see how fine it is. And actually on top there by the handle, it is really reserving all the liquids with it. This is an amazing, amazing device. So I'm just going to scoop these right in. I'm going to take a spoon, actually, because that does better than a finger. And we're ready to go to the stove. Now here's everything that we have. The mushroom, carrots, ginger, garlic, and cabbage. Now you want to salt this. And throw a little bit of pepper in there. What the heck? Now, the reason for the salt, it's going to help draw the water out of the carrots, out of the cabbage, and of the mushrooms. I put no oil in that, as you can see. I'm just going to give this a stir around. I have it over medium to medium-high heat. And you will be amazed at how much water these veggies release. And we have to do this part. Number one, it wilts everything down so it packs in nicely to a dumpling. Oh yeah, here's a little bit of sesame seed oil that I'm putting in just the tiniest bit, and that's mostly for flavor, not for frying. So you want this to wilt down because once that happens, it'll fit into your wrapper. So after this is cooked about 3 minutes, I went ahead and put in 2 diced up green onions, whites and green parts of the green onion, or scallion, depends on what you want to call it. And I'm going to continue to cook this until I see a lot of water being released, until it gets really nice and wilty. I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. Look right here. See all that water? Is that not crazy? And that's just from all those veg. So what do we do to get rid of that? Well, you can cook your filling to death, which mine is really done now. It's perfect. It's still got some resistance to the bite, but it also is wilted enough that I can really make a good spoonful of it. So I'm going to take a very sanitary paper towel. I'm going to fold it up and put it right in there to soak up all of that water. Now you can see one paper towel didn't quite do the trick, so we're going to do it again. Because it's super important. If you were to pack this into a wonton wrapper now, with all that water still in there, it would make a watery mess. It would just be runny, and that's not what a good dumpling experience is all about, now is it? Alright, so I transferred it to a bowl, and what I'm doing here is I'm scraping it up the sides, and that's going to make it cool so much faster. I mean, if you wanted to leave it for an hour sitting on the counter, it would still be warm if you had it in one pile. So, spread it up the sides, and then that'll help it. Now this is dark soy sauce. What is dark soy sauce? Well, it's made out of mushrooms, so I thought this is perfect. It has a very earthy umami flavor. Not gross, but very good. So I just did like a teaspoon. And I'm going to mix that in there, and that just helps it all bind together as well. But it also, it adds such good flavor. And it's dark, so it's going to make your mixture even darker than regular soy sauce. Again, I'm going to brush it up the sides to help it cool. Now let's get to filling. So these are not wonton wrappers, these are dumpling wrappers. So you want to put about a teaspoon and a half of filling, then wet your finger and run it across half of the dumpling. And you're going to press the sides together like so, and then I'm expertly going to move out of camera range, as I love to do. From the angle I was doing this at, it really showed you the technique. So what you do is you just pinch, 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 and then you fold it over your thumb and then pinch that together. And that creates the pleats. And it turns out looking pretty good. Look at that. It is easy to do, and the more often that you do it, by the end of this mixture, and you've done so many of these, you're going to be a pro. It is just that simple. If you don't want to do the pleats, just wet the sides and press the two sides together and just really pinch them hard to make sure that they stay closed. Here's my work, which I'm pretty proud of. Look at those dumplings. I just have them sitting. Don't let them touch at this point because they will stick and then rip open. You don't want that to happen. So now we're going to cook these bad boys up. So I have a pan that's on my stove and it's pretty hot. We're going to put in some oil, maybe a tablespoon, maybe slightly over. And the thing is, you want to hear a sizzle when you put that in there. So press them down so that the bottom part is really flat. And we're going to cook these for like 3 minutes until we get some good color on the bottom. Look at this. It's starting to brown up nicely. So that we don't burn them, we're going to go to the next phase of cooking. We're going to add a 1/4 cup of water. You can see that it's a super hot pan. Put the lid on right away and let it steam for 4 minutes. Bam. Everything in here is done. The filling's already been cooked. All you were cooking really is the dumpling wrapper. So we're going to transfer these babies to a plate. And now I'm going to serve these. But first, let's take one more look at them. Yeah, that's the pan. Boom. Look at that. I'm going to serve these on a bed of kimchi fried rice. Oh my gosh. Meatless Monday never tasted so good. I really hope you try it. Let me know what you think. Have a wonderful day. Peace out.